As the movie begins, we are shown images of a destroyed world. The world was destroyed by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, AI, was created by humans for their benefit. The same artificial intelligence broke all the rules of its security and launched an atomic attack on Bangalore, in which more than 50,000 people died. The world had not yet recovered from the trauma of this attack when AI began launching attacks everywhere. In these attacks, more than 100 million people died. Now the danger of destruction had increased a lot. It was necessary to stop artificial intelligence. That's why the government created a military force called ICN. Their job was to save humans from the destruction caused by artificial intelligence, and above all, to save them from Harlan. Harlan was the first AI terrorist to start this war, which was created to make the Earth better, but it started destroying the Earth. The ICN Defense Force does its job very well and destroys AI in a matter of days. Seeing itself defeated, Harlan leaves this world. He leaves a message saying, "I will finish what I started," implying that the world is still unsafe. The story continues, and we are shown a time 28 years later. In these 28 years, there was almost peace and tranquility in the world, but now ICN was aware of the existence of a single person of artificial intelligence in this world. That's why ICN raids on a building. It started scanning everyone present with its scanner and found an artificially enhanced human means he is a human, but artificial intelligence has made him their slave by modifying his powers. ICN starts catching him because he was so powerful that he used to pick up trained powerful soldiers of ICN like toys. The name of this man was Casca. They control him by giving electric shocks with great difficulty. The scene cuts and we are introduced to Atlas, the main character and ICN's terrorist analyst, who used to investigate artificial intelligence or any other terrorist. She had done a lot of research on AI terrorists and knew everything about them. In the morning, she gets the news that ICN has caught Harlan's assistant Casca. Hearing the name of Harlan, Atlas was scared. She gets ready quickly and leaves for ICN with her officer on a ship. Now we meet the general, who was in a meeting with the colonel on a special mission. He tells him that he has full confidence in Atlas. Her research on artificial intelligence is outstanding. I am sure she knows a lot about Harlan, but the colonel was not ready to work with her because she did not get along with the people. If she fails to interview Casca today, then we will never be able to reach the mastermind Harlan. But even after hearing all this, the general wanted to give this job to Atlas. He now meets Atlas and tells her that Harlan is definitely going to play a huge game. He has a grand plan in mind, which could pose a significant threat to Earth. To know everything, you only have one chance to do a perfect investigation of Casca. After hearing all this, Atlas goes to the room where Casca's head was placed. She starts the investigation. After asking a lot of questions, she asks Casca for Harlan's address, but Atlas was angry that he did not open his mouth on any of his questions. Atlas gives him a lot of backlash and also threatens to reset him. He was not going to listen to the threat, so Atlas started working on resetting him. While trapping him, she finds out about Harlan that he is now on a planet in another galaxy. As a result, Casca's plan failed, so he attacks Atlas, but before that, Atlas had already made a security shield in front of her. After asking for Harlan's address, she gives him an electric shock and kills him, with which the entire team of ICN was now impressed with her because what ICN has not been able to do for so many years, Atlas did it today. She had found out about Hyland. Now ICN's plan was to get close to Harlan and kill him. There will be no Hyland, and then there will be no danger in the world. Atlas also requests the general to be part of the mission, saying, "I want to see Harlan die with my own eyes." That's why the general introduces Atlas to Colonel, who was the head of this mission because Atlas was not a creature. The colonel did not agree to take him on a mission with him. Now Atlas tells him that you are doing wrong. You don't know anything about Harlan, and if you think that if you go to another planet in another galaxy near Harlan and kill him, then this is your misunderstanding, Colonel. You will also kill your ICN team with you. Remember, you can't complete this mission without me. Hearing Atlas, the Colonel now introduces her to a robot. This robot was actually a suit in which the Rangers sat inside and fought with AI, and this robot was connected to humans through a Neuralink device. It turns out that this Neuralink device was made by Atlas's mom, who was a scientist at ICN. Hearing about this device, she starts shouting at the Colonel, but the Colonel relaxes her and says, "I know whatever happened to your mom, but this device is absolutely safe because it has been modified." The colonel tells her that he will defeat Harlan using these big robots and a huge spaceship equipped with a bomb capable of destroying an entire planet, but don't know why. Atlas still had some fear in her heart. She insists the general to go on this mission. The general agrees, and the colonel has to take her on a mission with him. As his spaceship comes out of Earth, we see that a lot of laser security was made around the Earth. After extensive checks with high-tech security, the spaceship finally exited Earth's atmosphere. The purpose of making this high-tech security was also that Harlan couldn't approach the world. Atlas was working inside the spaceship. That's when she suddenly remembers her past. So here we will see Atlas's past story. Suddenly, a photo appears in front of her in which she was her mom and Harlan. Harlan was an AI made by her mom, and he used to work as a servant at her house. Atlas's mom had also made a Neuralink device through which artificial intelligence and humans could be combined. Such a person's mental and physical powers could be doubled or tripled. They were using this Neuralink today. This ICN team was about to reach the planet in the galaxy through his spaceship in which Harlan was, so Atlas holds a meeting for all of them. She gives them some printouts and tells everyone to take out their Neuralink because, according to her, it was just a normal device that was very easy to hack. She starts telling everyone that Harlan is on a planet where humans cannot survive. Before she tells more about Harlan, she notices that people are talking about her, that Atlas is thinking a lot about Harlan. In response, Atlas was angry. She says, "What do you know about Harlan? I know Harlan very well. You are so confident about this Neuralink device and robot. Let me remind you that both are unsafe devices and can be hacked at any time, and if your devices are hacked, then you are nothing in front of it." After hearing this, all of them were scared, so Colonel tells Atlas, "What did you do? You scared the crew just before the mission. In this case, they will never be able to give their 100%. Atlas also realized her mistake, so she apologizes to the Colonel. Anyway, now they had come very close to that planet. Colonel puts on his robotic suit. Here, Atlas tells the Colonel, "If you think you have caught Harlan, then remember it would be a trap." They were talking when suddenly alarms start ringing in the spaceship, and there was an explosion there because Harlan had been informed of their arrival and Harlan was welcoming them by bombing them. Harlan's AI had completely crushed their battleship. Here, to save Atlas's life, they forcibly put Atlas in a robotic suit, and Atlas keeps explaining to them that "I don't want to sit in this. I don't know how to operate it," but none listens to her because their battleship was destroyed, and they had to jump directly onto the planet to escape. Now they were in space. Meanwhile, their battle began with many AI robots. Their battleship was also destroyed from above and was falling down. Seeing this, Atlas was scared because the battleship was right on top of it. In this, she would die, but here an ICN soldier saves her. Colonel tells Atlas in a video message that you should use a Neuralink, but Atlas was not in his sight because he did not believe in the AI program, and because of this, her robotic suit falls very hard. Because of this, Atlas also gets hurt. She was unconscious. When she regained consciousness, there was no one around her. She tries to contact everyone, but this is not possible. She started crying. Now she turns on her robotic suit system unwillingly because she wanted to reach her rescue pod soon to save her life, but the rescue pod was far from her. Atlas tells her suit to take her to the rescue pod. This robotic suit listens to her and starts working, but it was jumping very hard. In this, the chances of these AI robots seeing them were more. Atlas tells it to walk comfortably, but it does not listen to her commands because Atlas has not yet connected her to herself. Unwillingly, Atlas had to connect this machine to herself, and to do this, it scans her retina. After this, he began to understand Atlas's words to a great extent. Now it was moving to the rescue pod slowly. On the way, Atlas asks it, "How many weapons do we have?" In response, the robot says we have 7 weapons, in which one of the most powerful weapons we have is an iron bomb, a bomb that has the power to destroy half the planet. This robot tells Atlas his name Smith, but Atlas says, "Was it necessary to tell your name? You are a computer program." In response, he says it is not like that. They reach far ahead while walking, the place where their spaceship was destroyed. Here, she sees that no soldier of ICN was left alive because everyone was killed by AI robots. Atlas was saddened to think that the one who killed them all is Harlan. She now tells her robotic suit to collect the tags of all these people after it. She prays for all of them. May God give peace to their souls and may their souls go to heaven. She goes to the Colonel's robotic suit, but she sees that the Colonel is not in his suit. She also sees Casca nearby, Harlan's assistant, but she thinks that she killed Casca, but immediately it comes to her mind that Harlan must have made another one too. Meanwhile, many AI robots had arrived, and they were now observing Atlas as well. They move forward to attack Atlas. Atlas runs ahead to escape from them. There was a storm ahead, and she didn't see it, now finding herself trapped within it. With difficulty, she comes out of the storm. The robots were standing again in front of her to kill her. There were a lot of them. She could not fight because she was not a ranger. She did not know how to use weapons. That's why she orders her robot to use the iron bomb here. Although the robot did not want to do this, but it has to obey the orders of Atlas. In a while, everything is destroyed here along with the robots, but next moment, Casca comes to her. That is, he did not die from this attack. Before he killed Atlas's robot and Atlas, suddenly, the earth began to shake after the ground broke. Atlas descended hundreds of meters into the earth with her robot. Atlas's foot was fractured because of falling. So Atlas's robot fixes a metal plate in her foot so that her leg does not get damaged. This process was hurting Atlas a lot. That's why he gives Atlas such a lollipop. It tasted bad, but there was a lot of energy in this lollipop because it was made of protein. She felt that now she would not be able to get out of here. Then Smith, her robot, says, "If you do not cooperate with me, the lives of both of us will be in danger. You will have to be completely linked with me. You should use your Neuralink device." After thinking a lot, Atlas puts that device in her ear. Likewise, they become 100% synced, meaning they connect with each other completely. On the other hand, Casca had informed Harlan about Atlas's arrival on their planet. We see that at this time, the Colonel was imprisoned by Harlan, who was still alive, but Harlan was torturing him a lot. Here Atlas was thinking of getting out of the sinkhole in the ground, but she knew that if she came out, the AI robots would be ready to kill her. Then Smith tells her that we will take more power and trouble, and there is a lot of danger up there. I have observed that there is a cave a few kilometers from here. We go there. They move towards that cave, and after leaving there, they had been successful in escaping from the AI robots, but their bad luck was that a drone sees them, through which Casca had found out about them. Soon Atlas reaches a desert where strange blue light was coming out of the mountains, and there were some plants and flowers, and all these flowers were shining. Atlas liked it very much. That's why Atlas named them Planty. Smith knows that Casca had found out about their location, and he is going to follow them. That's why he plants a bomb behind him. As they move forward, Casca comes from behind. As Casca came, Smith's bomb was blasted. He thought that now Casca would have died. That's why when Atlas goes behind and checks, she sees that Casca's head is still left. She crushes his head to kill him through the system in his head. She discovers that Harlan is nearby. She wanted to go to Harlan and tag his location at any cost so that the next team of ICN can easily destroy Harlan. Smith forbids Atlas to go to Harlan and attack his location, but because Atlas had to do this at any cost, that's why she removed Smith's Neuralink, through which he was connected to Smith, but Smith was still attached to her somewhere. He shows her that time and tries to make her emotional when Harlan used to live in Atlas's house, but Atlas tells her that it's not time to get emotional. Smith, if we don't take this step today, if we don't take this risk, then all the people of ICN who have been martyred, all their deaths will be wasted. Smith listens to her and moves forward. They reach the base of Harlan. As they reach, Atlas is surprised and worried because Harlan has their battleship. Along with that, he had their bomb with which they can destroy half the planet. The technology here is also very high. Suddenly, a drone's eye falls on Smith. In this way, many AI robots had come to attack him. Atlas wanted to save her life while running, but suddenly Smith falls. Something had happened to him, as if someone had hacked him. As soon as Summit fell, the message that Atlas was sending to the world, she was providing reports of the situation here, but that message also ceased. In this way, the generals on Earth were worried. What if Harlan has their battleship? If this happens, then that's it. He will destroy the whole Earth. Here it is shown that Atlas has been caught and brought in front of Harlan. It was strange that Harlan was happy to see her. He says to her, "You know how much I love you. Your mom too. She's our mom. Why do you think I'm wrong, Atlas? You know, I'm doing Earth's good. The way humans are doing Earth, in just a few years, Earth will be destroyed, but to prevent Earth from being destroyed, I had planned that I would kill half the people on Earth. The rest of the people can live in peace in the world. and the work of protecting those half-people Harlan will make his AI to do it. Harlan tells Atlas that it was my plan to get you here. I wanted the ICN to come here while looking for me because I needed their battleship and the powerful bomb they made to complete my mission. Now he asks Atlas for the security code of the laser so that he can enter Earth, but Atlas did not know that code. Harlan started torturing her badly when she didn't tell the code. The Colonel was also there, who was also being tortured by Harlan. The Colonel asks Atlas, "Where is Smith?" In response, she says maybe his battery is low. The Colonel gives him his Neuralink. He tells him to call Smith. Atlas contacts him, but Smith says in response, "I can't come to you because I could not sync 100% with you." Hearing this, Atlas starts crying loudly. She felt that all the problems in the world are only because of her. When the Colonel explains to her, "It's not your fault, Atlas. Your mom made Harlan for good. He broke the security protocol and started all this work. It's his fault." Atlas was crying loudly during all this. From here, the story shifts to a flashback, where we see that her mom loves Harlan a lot. Atlas also needed the love of her mom. This protocol, that's why she started making herself like Harlan. She picks up the Neuralink made by her mom and connects Harlan to herself. At that time, Atlas was an innocent girl. She did not know what could happen to her. Harlan took advantage of this. He broke all her security protocols, controlling her mind, and started wreaking havoc in the world. This was the reason that Atlas was responsible for all these things. She didn't talk to anyone, which is why she didn't believe in AI or Neuralink. Atlas, crying, tells the Colonel that all this happened because of her and says, "My mom was killed because of me, because when Harlan was free he wanted to kill me, but my mom threw me out of there to save me and she died." Smith was also listening through the Neuralink all these things of Atlas, all these memories of Atlas, and this way, he connects 100% with her. Smith had come to her now. Atlas, freeing herself, sits inside Smith, and they get ready to fight the robots here. Atlas very bravely killed a lot of AI robots here using Smith's 4 hands. Harlan's space was destroyed. That's why Harlan comes to her to check all this. Before, there was a fight between Atlas and him. Atlas sees in the sky that the battleship is made by humans was going to destroy the world at his behest. Atlas also sees it, and she knows that their battleship will destroy the Earth. That's why she starts firing at it to stop the battleship, and her attempt is successful because the battleship was now destroyed. And seeing this, Harlan gets mad with anger. He now pulls out a sword from his hand to fight Atlas. He was fighting Smith with his sword. Smith was connected to Atlas now because she knew Harlan. That's why soon she understood Harlan's moves and started facing her moves. She was fighting in her defense, but she was not very successful in this because Harlan had attacked Smith's power system. Because of this, Atlas also gets a lot of electric shocks and becomes unconscious. Smith opens himself to save Atlas and pulls out Atlas from inside. At the same time, he was fighting Harlan with his other hand and was stopping him from reaching Atlas, but he was not able to overpower Harlan for a long time. Harlan now attacks his AI system, and before he would have destroyed all of his other systems, someone attacks from behind and kills Harlan. This was Atlas, who has regained consciousness. She looks at Smith with love because Smith had just saved her life. Smith and she had now become friends unwillingly. Once again, Atlas had befriended an AI. Here, Smith decides to disable himself to save Atlas, knowing that the planet they are on is not easy for humans to survive. They had so much power that Atlas continued to receive oxygen for the next few hours. Now Atlas, because she liked Smith, so she didn't want Smith to be disabled, but here Smith gives her a coffee lollipop and disables himself. Because of this, Atlas becomes emotional. After a while, the ICN team had come here to rescue Atlas. After it, the scene cuts and we see Atlas in the world. Here, the general comes to meet her and says, "Guess what gift I have brought for you?" Atlas says nothing. The general opens a box, inside of which is the same plant found on the planet of Harlan, which Atlas had named Planty, and his friend. Smith had brought the gift for Atlas. All the people who died that day, their parents were thanking Atlas because of her. Their tags came back. Atlas becomes silent here, and the general turns back to leave. Atlas stops the general and says, "Thank you for trusting me." His trust made Atlas capable that she had defeated Harlan on another planet, and now because of Atlas this world was absolutely safe. Atlas had now become a ranger, which she always wanted to be. We see that she has gone to test the new AI robot suit which she had designed according to her. After sitting in it, She sinks herself 100% with the robot without fear because this robot was her friend Smith, who was rescued that day with Smith. Atlas was feeling very confident with Smith by her side. The story concludes with this scene.